Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily English Lab podcast. You're going to procrastinate today. You know it. I know it. You've probably already procrastinated before starting this video. And here's the worst part. You're not just procrastinating on work or chores. You're procrastinating on learning English, the very thing that could change your life. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop. In the next hour, you're going to learn the real reason why you procrastinate. And it's not what you think. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack discipline. It's something much deeper. And once you understand it, you'll have the power to stop procrastinating forever. We're going to cover 3 powerful techniques that have helped thousands of my students finally take action on their English learning. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a complete system to beat procrastination and make real progress with your English. I've been teaching English for over 15 years to students from more than 70 countries. And you know what the biggest problem is? It's not that students don't know how to learn. It's that they keep putting it off. They say, "I'll start tomorrow." But tomorrow never comes. Today, that changes. Today, you're going to learn how to actually start and keep going. Before we dive in, if you struggle with procrastination and you want to finally overcome it, hit that subscribe button right now. Don't wait. Don't say, "I'll do it later." Do it now. This is your first practice in beating procrastination. Go ahead. I'll wait. Good. Now let's get started. Let me ask you something. How many times have you said, "I'll practice English later"? How many times have you downloaded an English app and never used it? How many times have you bought an English book that's still sitting on your shelf unopened? Be honest with yourself. We all do this. And the question is, why? Most people think procrastination is about laziness. They think, "I'm just lazy. I need to be more disciplined." But that's completely wrong. And believing that lie is actually making your procrastination worse. Listen, you are not alone in this struggle. Procrastination is one of the biggest problems facing English learners worldwide. I've had students who studied English in school for 10 years but never became fluent. Why? Not because they weren't smart enough, not because they didn't have time, but because they kept putting off real practice. They kept waiting for the perfect moment to start. Let me tell you about my student, Carlos. Carlos came to me 3 years ago. He was from Mexico, working as an engineer, and he desperately needed English for his career. He had every resource imaginable: apps on his phone, books on his shelf, online courses he had paid for. But guess what? He wasn't using any of them. He would wake up every morning and tell himself, "Today I'll practice English." But by evening, he hadn't done anything. Does this sound familiar? Comment below if you've ever felt this way. So, what was Carlos's problem? What's your problem? Here's the truth that nobody tells you. Procrastination is not about laziness or lack of discipline. Procrastination is about fear. That's right, fear. You're afraid of something and your brain is protecting you by avoiding it. What are you afraid of? Maybe you're afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you're afraid of sounding stupid. Maybe you're afraid of failing after you try. Maybe you're afraid that even if you practice hard, you still won't become fluent. These fears are unconscious. You don't even realize you have them, but they're controlling your behavior. Here's how it works. Your brain sees English practice as a threat. Not a physical threat, but an emotional threat. The threat of embarrassment, the threat of failure, the threat of disappointment. And what does your brain do when it senses a threat? It avoids it. It procrastinates. It finds excuses. "I'm too tired today. I don't have enough time. I'll start next week when I'm more prepared." These aren't real reasons. They're protective mechanisms. And here's the crazy part. The more important English is to you, the more you'll procrastinate on it. Why? Because if it's important, the fear of failing at it is bigger. So your brain protects you even more strongly. That's the procrastination paradox. The things that matter most are the things we avoid most. Now, here's the counterintuitive truth that changed everything for Carlos, and it's going to change everything for you. You don't need more discipline. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more time. What you need is to remove the fear. Once you remove the fear, procrastination disappears automatically. Think about things you don't procrastinate on. Maybe you don't procrastinate on watching your favorite TV show. Why? Because there's no fear attached to it. It's just pleasure. Or maybe you don't procrastinate on eating when you're hungry. Why? Because it's a simple need with no emotional threat. Now, imagine if you could make English practice feel the same way. No fear, no pressure, just a simple, pleasant activity that you do naturally. That's possible, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But first, I need to tell you about the 3 types of procrastination, because if you don't know which type you have, you can't fix it. This is crucial. Pay attention. Type 1 is perfectionism procrastination. This is when you don't start because you're waiting for the perfect conditions. You think, I'll start learning English when I have more time, or I'll start speaking when my grammar is perfect, or I'll start practicing when I find the perfect method. But perfect conditions never come, and while you're waiting, you're not improving at all. Do you have this type? Here's how to tell. Do you spend more time planning to study than actually studying? Do you research methods for hours but never actually practice? Do you make elaborate study schedules that you never follow? If yes, you have perfectionism procrastination. Type 2 is overwhelm procrastination. This is when you don't start because English feels too big, too complicated, too overwhelming. You look at everything you need to learn: grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, speaking, reading, writing, and you think, this is impossible. Where do I even start? So you don't start at all. Do you have this type? Here's the test. When you think about learning English, do you feel stressed? Do you feel like there's too much to learn? Do you freeze up because you don't know what to do first? If yes, you have overwhelm procrastination. Type 3 is instant gratification procrastination. This is when you choose short-term pleasure over long-term benefit. You know you should practice English, but you scroll through social media instead. You know you should listen to an English podcast, but you watch TV in your native language instead. You choose what feels good right now over what's good for your future. Do you have this type? Be honest. Do you often choose entertainment over English practice? Do you tell yourself just 5 more minutes of social media and then it turns into an hour? Do you put off English until you're too tired to focus? If yes, you have instant gratification procrastination. Now here's the important part. Most people have all 3 types at different times. The good news is that the techniques I'm about to teach you work for all 3 types. You're about to learn how to beat perfectionism, how to beat overwhelm, and how to beat instant gratification, all in one system. All right, let's pause for a second. We've learned that procrastination isn't about laziness, it's about fear. We've learned about the 3 types of procrastination, and now you understand why you've been struggling. That's the foundation. But now comes the powerful part, the 3 techniques that actually work. The first technique is so simple you won't believe it, but it's also the most powerful thing you'll learn today. I'm going to reveal it right now. Here's what's about to happen. I'm going to teach you 3 techniques. Technique 1 will help you start. Technique 2 will help you keep going. Technique 3 will help you make it permanent. Together, these 3 techniques create a complete system for beating procrastination. And the best part? They're all simple. You can start using them today, right now. Let's begin. Technique number 1, the 2-minute rule. Here's how it works. When you need to practice English, commit to just 2 minutes.
Not 30 minutes, not an hour, just 2 minutes. Tell yourself, I'm only going to practice for 2 minutes, and then I can stop. Now, why does this work? Because 2 minutes is not scary. Your brain can't make excuses about 2 minutes. You can't say, I don't have time, because everyone has 2 minutes. You can't say, I'm too tired, because 2 minutes requires almost no energy. You can't say, I need to prepare, because 2 minutes needs no preparation. So the fear disappears. And once the fear disappears, procrastination disappears. You can actually start. And here's the magic. Once you start, you almost always continue for longer than 2 minutes. Why? Because starting is the hard part. Once you're already doing it, continuing is easy. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've been putting off listening practice. You keep saying, I'll do it later. Now, instead of forcing yourself to listen for 30 minutes, which feels overwhelming, you tell yourself, I'll just listen to English for 2 minutes. You can do that, right? Of course you can. So you start. You play an English podcast. 2 minutes. That's it. But here's what happens. After 2 minutes, you're already engaged. You're curious about what comes next in the story. So you keep listening. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Before you know it, you've practiced for much longer than you planned, all because you removed the barrier of starting. This worked perfectly for Carlos, the student I mentioned earlier. Carlos couldn't get himself to practice English for months, so I told him, just practice for 2 minutes every morning, that's all. He laughed. He thought it was too simple, but he tried it. The first morning, he practiced for 2 minutes and stopped. The second morning, 2 minutes turned into 5. By the end of the week, he was practicing for 15 to 20 minutes every morning, and he never felt like he was forcing himself. The 2-minute rule removed his fear of starting. Now, let me give you some examples of 2-minute English practice. 2 minutes of listening to an English song, 2 minutes of reading an English article, 2 minutes of repeating English sentences out loud, 2 minutes of watching an English video, 2 minutes of writing 3 English sentences. See how simple this is? And here's the key. You're not trying to learn a lot in 2 minutes. You're just trying to start. Because once you start, momentum takes over. Think about pushing a car. The hardest part is getting it to move from a complete stop. But once it's moving, keeping it moving is much easier. That's the 2-minute rule. It gets the car moving. So starting today, I want you to use the 2-minute rule. Whatever English practice you've been putting off, commit to just 2 minutes. No more excuses. 2 minutes is so small, it's impossible to say no. Try it today and comment below what happened. Did you practice for longer than 2 minutes? I bet you did. Technique number 2, implementation intentions. This is a fancy term for a simple idea. Instead of saying, I will practice English, you say exactly when and where you'll do it. You create a specific plan. And when you have a specific plan, you're 3 times more likely to actually do it. This is proven by research. Here's the formula. I will practice English becomes I will listen to an English podcast for 2 minutes at 7 a.m. while drinking my coffee in the kitchen. See the difference? The second version is specific. It tells your brain exactly what to do, when to do it, and where to do it. There's no room for procrastination because the decision is already made. Most people fail because they keep the decision open. Every morning, they wake up and think, should I practice English today? When should I do it? What should I practice? And every time you have to make a decision, there's an opportunity to procrastinate. But when you have an implementation intention, there's no decision to make. The plan is already set. You just follow it. Let me give you a real example from my student, Yuki. Yuki was from Japan, and she kept procrastinating on speaking practice. She would tell herself, I need to practice speaking, but she never did. Why? Because that statement is too vague. It requires a decision every time. So we created an implementation intention together. Her plan became, every evening at 8 p.m., after I finish dinner, I will go to my bedroom, close the door, and speak English out loud for 2 minutes by describing my day. Look at how specific that is. Time, 8 p.m. Trigger, after dinner. Location, bedroom. Action, speak English about my day. Duration, 2 minutes. And guess what? Yuki started doing it every single day. Why? Because there was no decision to make. 8 p.m. came, she finished dinner, and her brain said, "Oh, it's time to go speak English." She didn't have to think about whether she felt like it or not. The plan was automatic. Now it's your turn. I want you to create your own implementation intention right now. Think about one English practice you keep putting off. Just one. Maybe it's listening practice. Maybe it's speaking practice. Maybe it's reading. Whatever it is, choose one. Now answer these questions. When will you do it? Be specific. 7 a.m.? Noon? 8 p.m.? Where will you do it? In your bedroom? During your commute? In your kitchen? What will trigger it? After you wake up? After lunch? Before bed? What exactly will you do? Listen to a podcast? Read one page? Speak for 2 minutes? How long? 2 minutes minimum. That's the 2-minute rule. Put it all together. I will, action, at, time, in, location, after, trigger, for, duration. Write this down right now. Say it out loud. Make it real. This is your implementation intention. And starting tomorrow, you're going to follow it. No excuses, no negotiation. The plan is set. Comment below with your implementation intention. Make it public. When you share it with others, you're more likely to follow through. Go ahead, I'll wait. Technique number 3, temptation bundling. This is the technique that makes English practice actually enjoyable. Here's how it works. You pair something you should do with something you want to do. You bundle the temptation with the task. For example, you should practice English listening, but you want to drink your favorite coffee. So you bundle them. You only allow yourself to drink that coffee while listening to English. The coffee makes the English practice more enjoyable, and the English practice makes the coffee feel productive. It's a win-win. Or maybe you love watching videos on your phone. That's your temptation. So you bundle it with English. You only watch videos in English. Or you watch videos in your language, but you practice English for 2 minutes before you allow yourself to watch. You're using your temptation to motivate your English practice. This technique is incredibly powerful because it removes the feeling of sacrifice. You're not giving up pleasure to practice English. You're combining pleasure with English. So your brain stops resisting. It actually starts to associate English with good feelings instead of effort and pain. Let me tell you about my student, Anna. Anna loved watching cooking videos on YouTube. She would spend hours every evening watching them, but she never practiced English. So I told her, find English cooking channels and watch those. At first she resisted. She said, "But I like my regular channels." I said, "Just try it for 1 week." She tried it, and you know what? She found English cooking channels that she loved even more than her old channels. She was learning new recipes and learning English at the same time. After 3 months, her English improved dramatically. She learned hundreds of cooking-related vocabulary words and phrases, and she never felt like she was sacrificing her enjoyment. She was doing something she loved, just in English. So here's what I want you to do. Make a list of things you enjoy. Maybe it's drinking coffee. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's scrolling through social media. Maybe it's eating your favorite snack. Maybe it's taking a relaxing bath. Whatever it is, write it down. Now, find a way to bundle English with one of these enjoyments. If you love coffee, listen to English while drinking coffee. If you love exercise, listen to English podcasts while working out. If you love snacks, allow yourself to eat your favorite snack only while practicing English. If you love baths, listen to English audiobooks in the bath. The key is to make English the gateway to your pleasure. This trains your brain to associate English with good feelings. Over time, you'll actually start looking forward to English practice because it means you get to enjoy your favorite thing. Try this technique today and tell me how it feels. I promise it's going to make English practice so much easier and more enjoyable. All right, you now have 3 powerful techniques: the 2-minute rule to start, implementation intentions to make it automatic, and temptation bundling to make it enjoyable. These 3 techniques alone can transform your English learning. But there are some common traps that can still derail you, and I want to prepare you for them, because if you know these traps in advance, you can avoid them. Let's talk about the 5 most common procrastination traps and how to escape them. Trap number 1, waiting for motivation. This is the biggest trap. You tell yourself, I'll practice English when I feel motivated. But here's the problem. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel it, most days you don't. And if you only practice when you're motivated, you'll practice maybe once a week. That's not enough to improve. Here's the truth that successful people understand. You don't wait for motivation. You take action first and motivation follows. That's right. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you start doing something, even if you don't feel like it, your brain starts to engage. And once your brain is engaged, motivation appears. Think about it. Have you ever not wanted to watch a movie, but then once it started, you got into it? Have you ever not wanted to go to the gym, but once you got there and started working out, you felt energized? That's action creating motivation. The same thing happens with English. You don't feel like practicing, but you use the 2-minute rule anyway. You start, and within minutes, you're engaged, you're interested, you're motivated. So stop waiting for motivation. Just start. Even if you don't feel like it, especially if you don't feel like it. I had a student named Hassan who always waited to feel motivated. He would go weeks without practicing. Then he'd have one day where he felt motivated and he'd practice for 3 hours. Then he'd wait weeks again. His progress was terrible. So I told him, stop waiting for motivation. Practice every day for just 2 minutes, even when you don't feel like it. He tried it, and after a week, something changed. He stopped needing motivation. The daily practice became automatic. Some days he felt motivated during practice, some days he didn't, but he practiced anyway. And his English improved more in 1 month of daily 2-minute practice than in the previous 6 months of waiting for motivation. Trap number 2, the all or nothing mindset. This is when you think, if I can't practice for 30 minutes, I won't practice at all. Or if I can't do it perfectly, there's no point in doing it. This mindset kills progress. Why? Because life is unpredictable. Some days you have 30 minutes, most days you don't. And if you have an all or nothing mindset, you'll end up with nothing most of the time. Here's the better approach. Something is always better than nothing. 2 minutes of English is better than 0 minutes. 5 minutes is better than 0. Even 30 seconds is better than 0. Every little bit counts. Every little bit adds up. And consistency with small amounts beats inconsistency with large amounts every single time. Let me give you a math example. Person A practices English for 3 hours once a week. That's 3 hours per week. Person B practices English for 10 minutes every single day. That's 70 minutes per week. Who practiced more? Person B. But more importantly, who will improve faster? Also person B. Why? Because daily practice creates habit and momentum. Weekly practice creates stop and start patterns. So abandon the all or nothing mindset. Embrace the something is better than nothing mindset. If you only have 2 minutes today, practice for 2 minutes. If you have 5, practice for 5. If you have 30, great. But never use lack of time as an excuse to do nothing. Trap number 4, the productive procrastination. This is sneaky. This is when you avoid English practice by doing other productive things. You clean your room instead of practicing English. You organize your desk instead of practicing English. You research the best English learning methods instead of actually practicing English. You feel productive, but you're not actually making progress on what matters. I see this all the time with students. They spend hours reading about how to learn English. They watch videos about English learning techniques. They compare different apps and methods, but they don't actually practice English. They're procrastinating, but it doesn't feel like procrastination because they're being productive. Here's how to avoid this trap. Ask yourself one simple question. Is what I'm doing right now directly improving my English? If the answer is no, you're in productive procrastination. Stop. Use the 2-minute rule. Start actual practice. It's okay to research methods for 10 minutes, but then you need to practice for at least 2 minutes. It's okay to organize your study materials for 5 minutes, but then you need to practice for at least 2 minutes. Always make sure that direct practice is the priority. Everything else is secondary. Trap number 5, the comparison trap. This is when you compare yourself to other English learners and feel discouraged. You see someone who's more fluent than you and you think, I'll never be that good. What's the point? So you procrastinate. You avoid practice because you feel like you're too far behind. Here's the truth. Comparison is useless. There will always be someone better than you, always. And there will always be someone worse than you. Your level compared to others is irrelevant. The only comparison that matters is you compared to your past self. Are you better today than you were last month? If yes, you're winning. If no, you need to practice more. It's that simple. Stop looking at other people's progress. Stop watching fluent speakers and feeling bad about yourself. Instead, track your own progress. Record yourself speaking English today. Then record yourself again in 1 month. Compare those 2 recordings. That's the only comparison that matters. I had a student named Lily who spent more time watching other people speak English on social media than practicing herself. She felt so discouraged seeing all these fluent speakers. I told her, stop watching others. Focus on yourself. She deleted social media for 1 month and focused only on her own practice. After that month, her confidence and her English improved dramatically because she stopped comparing and started practicing. Trap number 5, the fresh start fallacy. This is when you keep waiting for the perfect time to start. You say, I'll start on Monday, or I'll start next month, or I'll start next year when things calm down. But Monday comes and you say, actually, I'll start next Monday. And the cycle continues forever. Here's the reality. There is no perfect time. There will never be a perfect time. Life is always busy. There are always obstacles. There are always reasons to wait. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now, this moment, today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next month, right now. So here's what I want you to do. As soon as this video ends, practice English for 2 minutes. Don't wait, don't plan, don't prepare. Just do it. Open your phone and listen to an English song for 2 minutes, or speak English out loud for 2 minutes, or read 1 paragraph of an English article. Just 2 minutes, right now. That's how you break the fresh start fallacy. You start before you're ready. One of my students, Marco, kept saying, I'll start seriously practicing next week after week after week. Finally, I challenged him. I said, practice for 2 minutes right now while we're on this call. He was surprised, but he didn't. He read an English paragraph out loud for 2 minutes, and something clicked. He realized that starting wasn't as scary as he thought. Since that day, he's been practicing every single day. all because he stopped waiting and just started. All right, we've covered a lot. 3 techniques to beat procrastination, 5 traps to avoid. Now, I want to help you put it all together into a complete system. A system that's procrastination-proof. A system that works even on your worst days. A system that makes English practice automatic. Let's build it step by step. Step 1. Choose your keystone habit. A keystone habit is one small habit that makes everything else easier. For English learning, your keystone habit should be 2 minutes of English practice every single day. Just 2 minutes. This becomes non-negotiable. No matter what happens, you do your 2 minutes. Why is this a keystone habit? Because once you've done your 2 minutes, you've already broken through procrastination for that day. And most days, those 2 minutes will turn into more. But even on days when it stays at 2 minutes, you've maintained the habit. You've kept the momentum alive. And that's what matters most. So right now, commit to this. 2 minutes of English every single day. No exceptions. What will your 2 minutes be? Listening, speaking, reading? Choose one primary activity. Write it down. This is your keystone habit starting tomorrow. Step 2. Design your environment. Make English practice easier and procrastination harder. How? By setting up your environment to support your goal. Put reminders everywhere. Make English materials easily accessible. Remove distractions. Here are specific actions. Put your English book or notebook somewhere you'll see it every morning. Set a daily alarm on your phone that says, English time, just 2 minutes. Change your phone's language to English. Download English podcasts so they're ready to play without thinking. Put a sticky note on your mirror that says, Speak English for 2 minutes. Subscribe to English YouTube channels so they appear in your feed. At the same time, remove temptations during your English practice time. Put your phone in another room if you're easily distracted. Close unnecessary browser tabs. Tell people you live with not to disturb you during your practice time. Create a dedicated space for English practice if possible. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. When English practice is easy and visible, you'll do it. When it's hard and hidden, you won't. So design your environment for success. Step 3. Track your progress. Get a calendar. Every day you practice English, even if it's just 2 minutes, mark that day with a big X. Your goal is to not break the chain. You want to see a long line of X marks with no gaps. Why does tracking work? Because it makes your effort visible. It gives you proof that you're doing the work. And once you have a streak of 5 days, 10 days, 20 days, you won't want to break it. Breaking the streak feels like losing something valuable. So you keep going. Also, tracking helps you see patterns. If you notice you always skip Fridays, you can plan for that. Maybe you need a different implementation intention for Fridays. Maybe you need extra temptation bundling on Fridays. Whatever it is, you can adjust, but you can only adjust what you measure. Use a physical calendar on your wall or use a habit tracking app on your phone. Either works. The important thing is that you see your streak growing. It's incredibly motivating. Step 4. Build accountability. Tell someone about your commitment. Could be a friend, family member, or even someone online. Tell them, I'm practicing English for 2 minutes every single day, and I want you to hold me accountable. Then check in with them regularly. Maybe once a week you send them a message showing your tracking calendar, or you tell them how many days in a row you've practiced. Having someone else know about your goal makes you more likely to follow through. Why? Because humans naturally want to keep their word. We don't want to disappoint people we care about. Even better, find someone who's also learning English. Be accountability partners. Check in with each other daily. Did you practice today? Yes, I did my 2 minutes. This mutual accountability is incredibly powerful. You're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your partner too. I've seen accountability partnerships transform students' consistency. 2 students who couldn't stay consistent alone became completely consistent together. They didn't want to let each other down, so they showed up every single day. Step 5. Celebrate small wins. Every time you complete your 2 minutes, celebrate. Tell yourself, good job, I did it. Give yourself a mental high five. Feel proud of yourself. This might sound silly, but it's crucial. Your brain needs positive reinforcement. When you celebrate, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine makes you feel good, and your brain wants more of that good feeling. So it will want to practice English again tomorrow to get another dopamine hit. You're literally training your brain to enjoy English practice. Also, celebrate streak milestones. When you hit 7 days in a row, do something special. Maybe buy yourself your favorite treat. When you hit 30 days, celebrate even bigger. Maybe take yourself out to dinner. These celebrations make the journey enjoyable, not just the destination. Remember, beating procrastination is hard. It deserves to be celebrated. So don't minimize your wins. Even 2 minutes of practice when you didn't feel like it is a huge win. Acknowledge it, celebrate it, be proud of it. All right, we're coming to the end, and now I want to give you a challenge, the 7-Day Anti-Procrastination Challenge. For the next 7 days, you're going to use everything you learned today. Here's exactly what you're going to do. Day 1 through 7, practice English for a minimum of 2 minutes every single day. Use the 2-minute rule. Create an implementation intention. Use temptation bundling if it helps. Mark each day on your calendar and celebrate each win. That's it. 7 days, just 2 minutes per day. Can you do that? Of course you can. Anyone can do 2 minutes for 7 days. But here's what I predict will happen. By day 3 or 4, you'll naturally start practicing for longer than 2 minutes. By day 7, you'll have momentum, and you'll want to continue to day 8, day 9, day 10.
This 7-day challenge is your proof that you can beat procrastination. It's your proof that you're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. You just needed the right system, and now you have it. After 7 days, keep going. Make it 14 days, then 21 days, then 30 days. After 30 days of daily 2-minute practice, it will become automatic. It will be a habit. You won't need willpower anymore. You'll just do it naturally, like brushing your teeth. And here's the beautiful part. Once you have this 2-minute habit solid, you can gradually increase it. Maybe after 30 days, you increase to 5 minutes. Then after another 30 days, to 10 minutes. Before you know it, you're practicing English every single day, without procrastination, without struggle, without force. It just happens naturally. That's the power of starting small and building gradually. That's how you create lasting change, not through massive overnight transformations, but through tiny, consistent actions that compound over time. Before you close this video, I need you to do 3 things. Right now. Not later. Now. This is your first practice in beating procrastination. Action 1. Write down your implementation intention. I will practice English at time, in, location, after, trigger, for 2 minutes. Be specific. Write it down on paper or in your phone. Make it real. Action 2. Set up your tracking system. Get a calendar or open a habit tracking app. Prepare it so you can mark today as day 1 if you practice after this video. Action 3. Practice English for 2 minutes right now. Don't wait. Don't say, I'll do it later. Do it now. Listen to an English song for 2 minutes, or speak English out loud describing your room for 2 minutes, or read the first paragraph of an English article. Just 2 minutes right now. Go ahead. I'll wait. Pause this video if you need to. Do your 2 minutes, then come back and finish the lesson. Welcome back. If you did your 2 minutes, congratulations! You just proved to yourself that you can beat procrastination. You just took action instead of putting it off. How does that feel? Good, right? That feeling is available to you every single day. All you have to do is use the system.
Remember what we learned today. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about fear. The 2-minute rule removes the fear of starting. Implementation intentions make practice automatic. Temptation bundling makes practice enjoyable. Avoid the 5 traps. Build your procrastination-proof system and celebrate every small win. You have everything you need. The only question is, will you use it? Will you commit to the 7-day challenge? Will you finally stop putting off your English learning and start making real progress? I believe you will. I believe you can. And I'll be here supporting you every step of the way. If this lesson helped you, please subscribe to this channel. I post new English lessons every single week to help you improve your skills and overcome your challenges. Hit that subscribe button now. Don't procrastinate on it. And drop a comment below telling me, what's your implementation intention? When and where will you practice your 2 minutes every day? Share it publicly, make it real, and let's support each other in this journey. Also, let me know how the 7-day challenge goes. Come back to this video after 7 days and tell me if you completed it. I want to celebrate your success with you. Thank you for spending this hour with me. Now, remember, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop making excuses. Just start. 2 minutes every day. You've got this. I'm proud of you for being here, for learning, and for taking action. Now, go practice right now. 2 minutes. See you in the next lesson. Keep going. You're stronger than your procrastination.